أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Salamun alaikum, and thank you so much for joining me on another discussion of Ziyarat Jamia Kabira. In this segment, we're going to be discussing the idea that the Imam is the intermediary to all the blessings from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How do we coincide that with the Quran and Hadith? Well, this is why we have this discussion. How is the Imam the intermediary? You see, let's look at this line from Ziyarat Jamia. وَبِكُمْ يُمْسِكُ السَّمَاءَ أَن تَقَعَ عَلَى الْأَرْضِ إِلَّا بِإِذْنِهِ. It is because of the Imam that the sky does not fall down on its inhabitants. It's a very heavy thing to say, but this indicates that the Imam is the intermediary of blessing, the fact that we have an earth and a sky and everything. If we go back a few segments before, a few sessions before, what did we say? The Imam, the light of the Prophet, from the light of the Prophet, the throne was created. From the light of Lady Fatima, the heavens and earth were created. From the light of Imam Hussein, the angels and the huris were created. Right? So when the whole of the creation is from the light of the Ahlul Bayt, whose light is from Allah, what does that tell you? This whole creation required an intermediary. So when it required an intermediary in its creation, why is it wrong to say that it requires an intermediary in the continuation of its existence? You see, the world and its creation, us are limited. Spiritually, physically, we are limited beings. And when we cannot attain divine grace directly, even when it comes to the movement of the wings, you have narrations about the angels being present in this. We also discussed the hadith where every task that Allah gives an angel to perform, the angel goes to the Imam. Why is the task being given to an angel? Because it's an intermediary at this point. So us as human beings, when we want to receive divine grace from Allah, what's the harm in getting an intermediary? We say the intermediary is the Imam, and our relation to Allah also requires an intermediary. وَابْتَغُوا إِلَيْهِ الْوَسِيلَةِ. Take an intermediary to Allah. The whole creation is based on intermediary and tawassul. The first creation that Allah created was the Prophet. You see, our creation requires even an intermediary, and the first creation before we were created, the first creation created directly by Allah was the Prophet, even before Adam was created. And the Prophet says, كُنْتُ نَبِيًّا وَآدَمُ بَيْنَ الْمَاءِ وَالطِّينِ. I was a prophet for Adam when Adam was between water and soil. Imam Ali says, كُنْتُ وَسِيًّا وَآدَمُ بَيْنَ الْمَاءِ وَالطِّينِ. I was a wasi when Adam was in the state of water and soil. And we go back to the same discussion that Allah is the Imam is the manifestation of the attributes of Allah. So therefore, when we want guidance, and when we're talking about the existence of this creation, there's a need for the perfect being to always be present, because the perfect being is the one who worships Allah as he deserves to be worshipped, and therefore it prevents this world from crumbling over because of the sheer amount of sins that we succumb to every day. In a narration that refers to our topic, Abu Hamza Thumali says to Imam Sadiq alayhi salam, can the earth remain without an Imam? Does an earth remain without an Imam? And the Imam says, if the earth were to remain without an Imam, it would swallow its people. Yani the earth will completely crumble with it all. Therefore, our own existence, forget the existence of the earth. Our own existence relies on the existence of an Imam. Just now, let's make a parable. Let's understand this through parables. The mountains are the stabilizers of the earth. Isn't that what the Quran says? وَالْجِبَالَ أَوْتَادًا. The mountains are the stabilizers of the earth. Similarly, Allah has ordained the existence of the earth to be reliant on the existence of an infallible Imam who is the perfect being and the manifestation of Allah's perfect attributes. If the Imam was absent, the earth would collapse and consume all its inhabitants. And this is against reference in the Hadith by Imam Sadiq alayhi salam. Allah has made the infallible Imam the pillar of the earth so that it does not shake with its people. Now let's see how we reference the Imam. You know, the Imam as the one who is the cause for us to receive our blessings. Let's look at the Ziyarah of Imam Ali alayhi salam. You see, the Ziyarah of every Imam is written by another infallible Imam. So let's look at the Ziyarah of Imam Ali alayhi salam, and when we are addressing him, we tell him, وَدَأْ you are دَعَائِمُ الدِّينِ وَأَرْكَانُ الْأَرْضِ وَشَجَرَةُ الطَّيِّبَةِ. You are the foundation of this earth. وَأَرْكَانُ الْأَرْضِ. You are the foundation of this earth. You are the means through which the earth remains from falling down. In the Ziyarat of Imam Baqir alayhi salam, we read, أَشْهَدُ أَنَّكُمْ دَعَائِمُ الدِّينِ وَأَرْكَانُ الْأَرْضِ. You are again the foundation of this earth and the means through which this earth continues to remain without crumbling, because its inhabitants have crossed the boundaries of humanity. In Ziyarat of Imam Hassan alayhi salam, we read, وَأَشْهَدُ أَنَّكَ مِنْ دَعَائِمِ الدِّينِ وَعَمُودُهُ وَرُكْنُ الْأَرْضِ وَعِمَادُهَا. And I bear witness that you are from the pillars of religion, its column, the cornerstone of the earth, and its support. So therefore, the Imams of the Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam are the closest beings of Allah. Remember, we said they are the ones who Allah has created. The Prophet was the first creation. Before that, we said the light of the Ahlul Bayt was the first thing to be created. And in another narration, we talked about how the light of the Prophet is, how the throne was created from the light. Throne meaning Arsh was created from the light of the Prophet, and the heaven and the earth was created from the light of Sayyidah Fatima. And we had all those hadith. Now over here, we're coming back and summarizing all these discussions to bring you a final summary. The Imams of the Ahlul Bayt are the closest beings to Allah, and the primary purpose of the creation of this world, and they, the Imam, are the primary purpose of the creation of this world, the intermediary through which blessings descend on us and through which our du'as descend to the heavens. Not only du'as, through which our actions descend to the heavens as well. And this can, again, the many narrations that talk about one who worships without Wilayah, his worship will be rejected. The many other narrations with a similar subject matter that talk about how the existence of Wilayah, how Wilayah is one of the most important foundations of our faith. There's multiple narrations from Imam Baqir, Imam Sadiq alayhi salam that say the furu ad-deen, the rukn of deen are 5, and the most important of them is Wilayah. If you have Wilayah, your other deeds are accepted. If you don't have Wilayah, your other deeds are rejected. Therefore, the Imam is, on one hand, is the intermediary of us receiving the blessings of Allah from the top to bottom. On the other hand, he's the intermediary through which our deeds, our actions, and our amals are accepted. And on a final note, before we get to the hadith, in one of the verses of the Quran, we read that the Prophet is a shaheed over a specific group of people who are a shaheed over the general public. That specific group of people are the Imams of the Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam, through whom our amals also, who will witness our actions and are the means for it to reach the spiritual realms and inshallah get acceptance. Now let's cross-reference our discussion with the hadith. In a narration from Imam Sadiq alayhi salam, he says, Allah created us and made it well. He gave us our form and formed it well. He made us his eyes amongst his servants. Yani the Imam is Ainullah, his speaking tongue in his creation. He made us his open hands over his servants, Yadullah, and he made us his open hands over his servants with kindness and mercy. He has made us his face through which he is approached, Wajhullah, and his door that shows the way leading to him. Therefore, the Imam is Babullah. In one of the supplications of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, we read, through you, the Imam, Allah clarifies falsehood. Because remember, we said the Imam is the truth, and the وَالْحَقُّ مَعَكُمْ وَفِيكُمْ وَمِنْكُمْ وَإِلَيْكُمْ. Again, we're coming back to to be bringing all, so you can see the connection between different phrases in Ziyarat Jamia. Or here the Imam is in the supplication, we tell the Imam, through you Allah clarifies falsehood, and through you Allah removes hard times. Through you He opens matters and completes them, and through you He erases, affirms whatever He wills. Therefore, if you read this whole short paragraph, it is through the Imam that all these blessings that are mentioned in this supplication are reach fruition. And with that, we end our discussions on Ziyarat Jamia Kabira. Thank you so much for joining me in all these 7 episodes. I hope you have benefited very well. And if you have anything you'd like to comment or give opinions, I'll be more than happy to take them. Thank you so much for joining me. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.